What's the point of spending thousands of dollars on a diamond when they literally do nothing? Not to mention the historically unethical means of obtaining them. Well, gradually lab-grown diamonds are being phased in. And no matter what the natural diamond industry wants you to think, you can't tell the difference. The De Beers campaign to make diamonds public perception as anything less than industrial garbage is widely considered the greatest marketing campaign of all time. This campaign is also where the notion of you have to spend 3 months' salary comes from. A fellow utilitarian, I agree. It seems pretty pointless. However, if your SO loves them and sees beauty in them, they are no longer pointless, but an expression of your love for your SO, and a statement that says, I know you love these, so I am willing to sacrifice to get you one, because I love you. Moissanite FTW. Costly signaling. Wearing expensive jewelry shows that you're so rich that it's worth it to spend that much money just to show off how rich you are. And spending a bunch on a diamond ring shows that you're sure enough the relationship will work out that you're willing to spend that much just to improve your chances of getting married by the amount that spending that amount of money does. Eastern culture women get gold for their weddings. So in case something happens to their betrothed, they have a way of taking care of themselves. The theory it's supposed to carry over for diamonds as well. The reality is most diamonds aren't worth what they pay for them originally. Also, I don't know many average women who are okay with you spending 20 grand on a ring. Unless you come from a lifestyle that can afford that. In reality, the reason you should spend a couple of grand on an engagement ring it's because it's something a woman is going to be wearing every day for the rest of her life, and you want to make sure there is quality to the ring. To give you insight here, my favorite piece of jewelry only cost $80. It's pewter. I wore it every single day of the year for like 2 years. One of the stones is already fell out. It tarnishes super quick, and some of the coloring is off already. Some people like certain things. What's the point of gold? What's the point of silver? What's the point of name brand clothes? Why aren't you wearing a generic pants-shirt in the same color every day of your life? At some point you exchange resources for preferences. Like most luxuries, it's because they look nice. Diamonds are the original FOMO. They are a status symbol. They absolutely do something. All we really want as humans is to be a part of a group and to have a status within that group. You've pretty much hit the nail on the head. Most millennials and younger generations have come to recognize that diamonds are just intrinsically worthless rocks. They don't even make a good investment. The De Beers cartel has a stranglehold on the diamond trade and control the flow of supply to make them seem rare and valuable, but they are not. They are not rare at all. They spent decades convincing Americans that a diamond wedding engagement ring was required. When they themselves came up with the whole thing, they spent years telling us that if he doesn't buy you a diamond, he doesn't really love you. Now diamonds are not selling well, because people woke up and realized that diamonds are just sparkly rocks with no actual value or use. I was so happy my BF, and now husband of 13 years, didn't waste so much money on a chunk of rock for an engagement ring. We talked about it ahead of time and he knew my feelings on diamonds, so it was truly a mutual decision. You get to be a part of one of the greatest scams in modern history. The myth that a diamond is worth a damn for anything outside of industry and is a pretty bauble. There's lots of reasons. All will be unique to an individual couple. I bought my wife a lab-grown. It's gorgeous in a way that cubic zirconia isn't. It will never go out of style. Was a fraction of the cost and my wife adores it. Worth the money to me and us, and I wouldn't have spent it without having that. Which brings me to my next point, is that you can't forget that some people also just have enough money that buying something like a 10 or 20k ring doesn't hurt. Lastly, maybe it's just not your thing. But you have a thing that you're willing to spend money on. And I bet that someone else would recoil at the idea of it. So it's really a classic case of different strokes for different folks. All of my diamonds are on concrete stone tile cutting blades. They are great. I mean, you could ask the same thing about Bitcoin and that's worth 70k. Symbols and sentiment mean something. I watched a TV program long ago about how there are 2 companies that totally controls the valve of diamonds. It's overvalued, and since I seen that, I noticed how that most of the time when selling, as an individual, I lose money. Every single time. Completely not worth the money to put on my finger. Better off buying gold and silver that has more valve. I have absolutely no idea. I told my now husband before he proposed that I didn't want a diamond, anything expensive, or anything with a stone that sticks out. His friends kept telling him I was lying. I didn't mean it. I would be disappointed without a diamond. He didn't listen, good man. The only jewelry I wear is a plain titanium band that I can wear gardening and doing dishes. I never take it off, and it's exactly what I wanted. Making De Beers rich on a relatively common mineral.